Hello, I'm Peter Gudde and I'm a doctoral researcher at the University of Suffolk. Today I'll be focusing on the barriers that local authorities face when they look to invest in renewable energy technologies to achieve their net zero carbon commitments. To give some context, the UK government has adopted a legal 2050 net zero carbon emissions target in response to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Special Report SR15 published in 2018. The panel's recommendations set out the need to decarbonise to effectively net zero earlier and faster than previously thought. The government's independent watchdog, the Office of Budgetary Responsibility, reaffirmed in July of this year previous estimates that the predicted total cost of achieving decarbonisation across the UK economy would be in the region of £1.3 trillion. That's £50 billion each and every year to 2050. Currently, the investment gap is around £33 billion annually. A key part of the investment challenge is transitioning our energy system away from centrally largely fossil-fueled power generation towards a more diverse mix of renewable and zero-carbon generation. As we move to a more electrified world, to decarbonise building, heating and transport, we will need to sustain investment in the renewable energy, both at large and small scale. Local authorities hold a particular wide-ranging sphere of influence in their localities. They are democratically representative bodies delivering services with a carbon footprint in their own right. They have influence through their various statutory and non-statutory functions over around a third of local greenhouse gas emissions, and as Tingy and Webb put it, play key roles in enabling, advising and investing in the energy future at local level. Since 2018, in response to SR15, and driven by lobbying pressure, over 300 local authorities have now declared climate emergencies, with many now in the process of developing delivery plans, which will include growing local renewable energy deployment. So why is investment in renewable energy technologies a problem for local authorities? Our previous research has revealed that despite commitments being made, many smaller local authorities lack the capability, competence and resources to deliver the level of decarbonisation necessary to achieve net zero. The long-term pressure on public finances, along with the lack of a mandate to take on the climate challenge, have all contributed to a patchwork position on climate action across the UK. Meanwhile, the investment challenge in renewable energy technology deployment is apparent in the literature, with research by Weber, Jordan et al. And Sanila et al. Each outlining some of the factors driving organisations forward and barriers stopping investment in clean energy technologies. Our research is therefore focused on trying to better understand the barriers that local authorities and other small organisations face within the investment decision-making process, and what needs to change to help local authorities and others improve renewable energy investment decision-making. We used a mixed methods approach based on a scoping review of academic and grade literature, focused on 3 organisational groups involved in renewable energy investment: local authorities, small and medium-sized businesses and community groups. We used the published data and evidence to inform the design of an online attitudinal survey, gathering the views of practitioners involved in renewable energy project development. The online survey was run during 2020 using a protocol designed by the research team. We then compared the results with comparable surveys in the literature. In particular, we refer to work by the global management consultancy PricewaterhouseCoopers and Community Energy England. In our online survey, we asked a series of questions of which we present here a snapshot. In response to the question, what are the greatest barriers to organisations' investment in energy technologies, our findings revealed a hierarchy of barriers and drivers to renewable energy investment. Non-local authority respondents placed the upfront cost of technologies highest, followed by the lack of affordable and accessible finance and project complexity. Local authority respondents ranked the complexity of renewable energy projects highest, followed by development costs, including the cost of connecting to the power network. Access to cheap capital is seen as a more significant barrier to energy projects in the community sector and for small businesses, observed both in the survey data and the literature. The PricewaterhouseCoopers survey showed that the upfront cost was the biggest barrier to renewable energy investment, with 33% of their respondents ranking it highest. In comparison, the Community Energy England survey reported the 3 most significant barriers as lack of organisational capacity, removal of the feed-in tariff for renewable energy power generation, and time constraints. that non-local authority organisations developing renewable energy projects appear to find financial barriers more significant than local authorities could be explained in several ways. In particular, it may be that affordable capital is more easily available in the public sector than for community groups and small businesses. When asked which of the following factors would have or have had the greatest influence on your organisation's energy investment decisions, all sectors ranked reducing energy costs and carbon emissions of equal highest importance, followed by the reputational benefits. In local authorities, reducing energy costs and reducing carbon emissions were seen significantly higher than other factors that came into play or were considered in this survey question. In response to the question, how do you measure the performance of your energy technology investments? The online survey findings suggest that participants tend towards relatively simple financial performance metrics and project assessment tools, with payback, internal rate of return, and cash savings or revenue generation being most prominent. Of interest, for all sectors, carbon and energy savings were identified as key non-financial considerations ahead of financial performance considerations. Cash savings and income generation rank highest for non-local authority respondees, followed by payback, energy and carbon savings equally placed. Local authorities appear to show more diversity and commonality in their use of performance metrics compared to the other sectors, possibly driven by how national government guidance sets expectations of these considerations in investment business cases. Finally, in response to the question, do you use any of the following performance modelling tools when assessing investment in energy technologies? The survey results showed some evidence that the public sector was more familiar with project modelling tools than the other sectors, although there was no unanimity. Whole life costing techniques scored higher than other tools, in particular social return on investment and life cycle analysis. This is interesting, given that the academic literature has shown increasing focus on multi-criteria decision modelling, although there appears to be a lack of recognition of such methods in any of the surveyed sectors. This suggests that although more complex modelling and assessment approaches are being developed, there is still a reliance on tried, trusted and simple methods. So what conclusions have we drawn both from this research and our wider research programme? Firstly, local authorities are taking on increasingly diverse roles in the renewable energy investment value chain to deliver on their climate emergencies. They're becoming project developers, investors and operators of technologies, as well as looking to support and enable others in their local areas to invest. Secondly, there's a need to overcome public sector risk aversion through improved understanding of the technologies, the energy system and the investment markets. Our previous research shows that smaller local authorities are at a particular disadvantage since they lack the staff and experience in taking on renewable energy projects, meaning that they miss out when funding opportunities arise. Thirdly, given this lack of capability and capacity, there's a need for more collaboration both between local authorities and between local authorities and other sectors of society. Fourthly, whether government puts in place a statutory duty or not to act on climate change, there's a need for a clearer, more robust policy and governance arrangement. Our previous research of the climate emergency declarations has led us to propose a governance framework within which ways to improve renewable energy investment decision making at local level should be a key factor. Finally, our future work is going to focus on the relationship between investors and local authority energy project developers to explore how better matching of project objectives on one side and investment requirements on the other could help to accelerate deployment. Thank you.